I started seeking Jesus, I think about 6 months ago or so. I was, this was like fall 2014, it's 2015 now. At the time, I was just living life like anybody else before I started. I was well, first of all, I went to church when I was a kid. Went to church. Eventually, we stopped going when I was about, I think I was a sophomore in high school. We kind of just stopped going to the church that we used to go to. And it all happened basically because my family, basically my parents, they felt that nobody at the church really seemed to really know them or really care. They were never really real friends. You know, they'd reach out to try to see people and do stuff with them, but they'd never reach back out. It was always kind of a one-way street. And, you know, friendships usually, you know, you do your part, I do my part. And it's actually the same thing with Jesus, so it makes sense. And the thing is they weren't doing that, so we kind of just stopped going. But yet they still, you know, believed all the stuff that the churches say, and for the most part, and that, you know, you still need to go to church, but we didn't go anymore, because they were looking at other churches like, well, this one's too big, or this one's blah, 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 or this one's not, doesn't feel like a good church, you know, we're just always looking for that good church. So I hadn't been to church for years. When I was in college, I went for about 1 year, and then I stopped going just because I was lazy. I wanted to sleep in, and I mean, it's fine now because I know I don't have to go because Jesus is with you wherever you go, but it just really showed how I didn't really care. I wanted to do other stuff like sleep in or go see my significant other on the weekends, or whatever you wanted to call it, boyfriend. And a lot of people do the same type of stuff. I was really focused on my homework and all this stuff, and I realized I missed out on a lot of time that I could have been spent having fun, playing outside. I always looked outside doing stuff, and I was like, I wish I was out there playing frisbee with these kids or doing that. It's just fun stuff. Some of the stuff is totally like good and totally okay to do. Nothing wicked, but I just felt like life was passing me by. And so college ended. Well, in college, I met this guy, my boyfriend, and we dated 4 years. And after college was over, I went to cosmetology school, and then I started working in a salon. And we had been together for a long time, and you know, we were planning on getting married. He was saying how he was planning wedding proposals. And I love this person to pieces, and I still do. But sorry, the enemy was trying to distract me right now. He was not wanting me to talk about something. But anyways, sorry, he was really, really trying to distract me and make me blank. Probably means I do need to talk about it. But, we were together for a long time, and we did things that was not pleasing to the Lord. And I was convicted, and he was convicted, and I finally said, we can't do this anymore. We were stuck in fornication. We weren't married yet, even though we were planning on getting married. And I knew it had to stop. I had been, even though I was in a salon, I had finally I started feeling like I couldn't please anybody. I felt like I couldn't please my parents. I couldn't please the world, the job I was at, working in the salon. I couldn't please people. I felt like I cannot personally make anybody happy. I can't make you happy. I can't make my mom or my dad happy. I myself cannot just completely make even, you know, my future husband, if I have one, I can't make him happy, just me as a person. We have to find Jesus to change our desires to make us happy. So, anyways, Jesus started changing my desires, and I'd been reading the Bible for real. Like, I just one day was like, I'm tired of pleasing people. What's your will? What do you want me to do? I mean, I knew I'd been doing, like, the salon. I wanted to do that because it made me happy. But I got to the point where it stopped making me happy. Like, it started making me, I just started not liking it. And I just felt like I was supposed to leave. And I didn't know for sure if I was or not. But eventually I did. And I left. And as soon as I left, I felt peace. But then right after that, like, not even a couple seconds after, I felt like, woof, like, glad that's over with. The enemy was like, no, you're not right. You weren't listening to Jesus. You're not supposed to leave your job. You're just a quitter. You know, that's the stuff that my dad told me. People tell me, you're just quitting. You're just a quitter. You need to find another job doing graphic design, or which is what I went to college for. Or you need to go to college, or you need to do the cosmetology job. Just work with kids instead, cutting hair, or do blah blah blah. And I was like, no. Does not want me in the salon environment at all. It does not matter if you are cutting kids' hair or adults' hair. If you're cutting kids' hair, it could even be 2 times worse, because then you're worried about pleasing the parents, who, if you get any hair on their kid's head wrong, it's just a mess, and it's not a good job. It's all vanity. Coloring your hair is also chemically really, really damaging. It's bad for your skin. Lots of people get allergies to that stuff because it's tons of chemicals piled on your head year after year, and it's not what Jesus is telling people to do. He's not telling you to change how you look, color your hair. My hair is still growing out from the very, very last chemical coloring I had done. It's grown out quite a bit, but my hair grows pretty slow, so it's taking a while. But I don't even have the desire to color my hair anymore. I got to the point where I was tired of roots coming in. It's vain. It's all vain. And so I quit that job, and I have been talking to my ex about stuff, about revelations, things I was reading in the Bible, some information that Jesus was sharing with me that technically isn't in the Bible, but Jesus can share stuff with you even though it's not in the Bible, because he's the living word. He didn't write, every single little thing about him all only in the Bible, because what would be the fun in that? There'd be no relationship if you knew everything about him before you ever even tried to build the relationship, if you could just read everything. So anyways, I would share this stuff, and I could see I was just making him depressed, because I was having what would happen, which is what it says in the Bible. It says about your joy and your laughter will be turned to mourning and sorrow, because you truly repent. You truly see how wicked you are. You truly see the sin in the world. You see how you don't want to do it anymore. You truly start hating sin. Jesus changes you to start hating sin, and you don't want it. You don't want to take part in it. You don't want to do it. You see how it hurts people and destroys people, and you just don't want to do it anymore. And so I was telling him, how, like, we're getting close to the end. Jesus is going to come back soon. Just, there's a lot of antichrists in the world. People running this place. It's antichrist. It's the enemy. I was telling him how I don't know if I want kids. It's just so evil and so wicked out here. But he was just getting depressed. He was all like, I'm crushing the worldly bubble. Don't crash my bubble. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to live it out. I'm going to live long. I'm going to retire. All the stuff people think will happen when you're not guaranteed that. And he was just getting depressed, and he was like, I don't want to talk about this stuff, basically. So I, just more and more, I didn't want to do the things that we would do together anymore. I didn't want to do a lot of stuff. I wanted to do stuff. I wanted to talk about truth, but he didn't want to. He thought his own way of, I'm okay with where I am in my walk. But not everyone's on a walk. They think they are, but they're not. And it's really, really horrible thing to think, but it's true. And, he's just happy just being where he's at, not learning, not growing, not changing, just kind of staying where he is. Like, I already went through all this 2 years ago. I already, checked out which religion was correct and blah blah blah, and the word even itself, religion, isn't. Jesus is the only way. There's no other way. I mean, you can follow religion or you can follow Jesus, and we can't be led by religion. We have to be led by Jesus. And he just didn't. It got to the point where I felt I needed to be single. I couldn't fornicate anymore. I couldn't do this because I knew it was hurting his soul and hurt my soul, and Jesus said fornicators will go to the lake of fire. So, I mean, I remember telling him, I was like, we have to stop. I was like, I don't want to damn your soul to hell. And he was convicted, and so we stopped doing it, and that was a while before I broke up with him, and he didn't want to change. He didn't want to grow more spiritually. It didn't seem. So I kind of just realized if I needed to be single, and I told him I needed to be single because I felt that that's what Jesus was calling me to do. And it wasn't what I wanted. And it's true. I told him it wasn't what I wanted, but it's what he wanted. And I had to listen, and so I did. And it was literally one of the hardest things I'd ever had to do because I loved this person for real, but I realized that what we were doing was wrong. And that if he wasn't wanting to change and just keep learning and growing, and I told him about holidays and how they're pagan and all this stuff, and how it's all lies and distractions, and he wasn't really buying into it. And I just realized Jesus had changed me. We were unequally yoked, as the Bible says. So I had to end it, even though I didn't want to. I mean, I hoped maybe someday we could be equally yoked, and if it was Jesus' will, and it could change, but it was really hard. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry, but it really was. So that happened, and through all of this, I was going through. I broke up with him, and 2 weeks went by, and even before all that, there was so much stuff that happened with me and my family, fighting, arguments, and tried to tell them how the church is divided, and how they're divided, and Jesus even says a house divided cannot stand. And it tells you that the church system isn't following Jesus. Not the real Jesus. They're following their way. And many of them are getting paid to preach Jesus when we are supposed to talk about him freely. Not charge anybody for the gospel. And this is how you know they're hirelings. But I'm getting a little off topic. I had so much going on. I told them about my family about this, and they weren't taking it. They were saying that I was wrong, and I'm listening to demons and communing with demons, and they didn't believe me. They believe once saved, always saved. But Jesus says to work out our salvation with fear and trembling, and that if we sin willfully after coming to the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifices for sins in Hebrews 26. That's what it says. And I was still wanting to talk to him and still be his friend and be there for him if he needed him, but I wasn't able to. After that happened, my very biggest fear came true. And that's when I learned fear is so dangerous to have, because the enemy will use any fear you have against you. I had hope that he would come to the knowledge of the truth, but before that could happen, 2 weeks later, he ended up getting into a really bad accident. Somebody, I don't know if they hit him, he got T-boned or something, and still nobody really seems to really know what happened, I guess, but he got in a horrible accident. And that had always been one of my biggest fears, is that he'd get in an accident. When we had started dating, he would never wear a seatbelt. I always told him he needed to wear a seatbelt, because if he didn't, what if something would happen to him? And my biggest fear would always be, it's a really probably common fear among people now, just to have someone get in an accident, but it was my hugest fear. And the enemy used that. And he used it because he knew it would I almost stopped following Jesus because I was so broken. And I had parents thinking I was crazy and wouldn't put me back on antidepressants or something because I was so depressed after it happened because my heart was shattered. But Jesus brought me out of it. I mean, I'm crying right now, but because I still love this person, but they weren't someone I was ever supposed to do things with, and I attached myself to somebody who I wasn't married to, and I learned the hard way that you're hurting your soul, you're hurting that person's, and you're hurting your own when you're not married. You really are. And I had to stop. And I had to still keep following Jesus. I mean, this person didn't die. By the grace of God, he didn't die. He was literally one hair away from death. One hair. And Jesus still gave him another chance. I don't know how that works, because he's not all there anymore. His brain's mixed up and kind of jumbled. And I know that he's getting healed, but I don't know if he'll ever fully be healed or not. I hope he will. I hope Jesus will. I don't know how that works, but he just needs lots of prayer. And it's sad. It's really sad. And it just really showed me how we're in so much danger if we're not living for him daily. If we were truly living for Jesus, Jesus allows everything to happen for a reason. Everything. If we're choosing death every day, Jesus might give it to us. If we choose wickedness and evil, he might let you have what you want. But that's not what he wants. And that's why he was saved from dying. He almost died that night. And our life is so precious. So it was really hard. I almost didn't keep following Jesus after that because it was so painful. And family coming against me and saying stuff, and I have friends I still haven't. I started saying stuff on Facebook, and people weren't agreeing with me, started coming against me, and I wasn't even calling anyone out personally, I wasn't judging anyone personally, righteously, like to their face or anything. I was just posting truth, and people weren't taking it, and they were already coming against me. And since I wasn't just posting, Jesus is love, sunshine, rainbows, people started coming against it because it's probably conviction, just like it always is. And I would have friends say, we're just supposed to sing Jesus or blah, blah, blah. And I realized it's only part of it. We're supposed to speak truth, and people will hate us for it. And I have friends who haven't talked to me, and I haven't talked to them yet because I've literally just been in the wilderness alone, like learning things of Jesus, reading the Bible. I wasn't doing nothing. I stopped watching TV. I don't play video games. I wasn't doing anything other than going on walks, talking to Jesus, reading the Bible, just anything that's holy. a lot right now that's holy. So many things that were holy at one point have been corrupted, or it's, I don't know, I need it. I'm working on trying to just talk to people. I've never been a good talker. I never was a good talker in school. I haven't ever been a very good speaker. I've usually been very shy, and I'm only starting to get better. But I had to keep going, and I met some people online who truly know Jesus and follow Jesus, and Jesus sent those people to me, and they really helped save me in that aspect. They kept me from falling off and would encourage me. And it's really important to try to seek out people who really know the truth, because they're who uplift you and help edify you, and I've learned so much through people, and it's all Jesus, though. He's what keeps you going. He's the only one who can detach you from your soul that's been tied to someone else before you're married, because it says you become one flesh. When you become one flesh with someone who's not who you're married to, when you're not married, it's a demonic attachment. It's an attachment of lust, and only Jesus can break that. So you have to pray to Jesus. Keep praying just to break that. I mean, you can love the person and love them from afar, but you can't be with someone who's not your husband. It'll ultimately hurt both of you, and fornicators go to hell. So this is why I knew I had to stop. So that happened, and now I'm just trying to figure out how to reconnect with anybody on Facebook who would be willing to talk to me, I guess. Some people deleted me. I had someone who I know is getting divorced. I wasn't supposed to know. I know they were getting divorced, but, you know, people talk, you overhear. And I just felt I had to let this person know, and I messaged them, and it was very truthful and very extreme, you know. I let them know they'd be in sin, and they'd be showing their kids that it's okay to get divorced. It's okay to give up. I mean, if your husband's beating you, or if something's happening like that, you can leave. Jesus isn't telling you to stay and get beat up, but he's still holding you to your oath that you'll stay married until that person's dead. So you'd be living away from them, but you wouldn't be getting divorced, because a piece of paper isn't divorce to God. When your spouse dies, that's when it's over. But I got deleted, or I was even deleted before that by that person, and it hurt so bad, because I love this person, and I'm just trying to keep going and just learning more and more, and see where he takes me. It's really hard, because I realize you just feel more and more spiritually separated from people the farther you go with Jesus. But yeah, it's fornication will lead you to hell. Flee fornication. I kind of feel like maybe I've talked about everything I should talk about right now, but don't do it. And generally, if you do it, you end up having a demon of lust. You end up fighting afterwards, because it wants you to go back. So just pray to Jesus, follow Jesus, pray for him to change your desires. I pray this every day. I pray that he'll change my desires, because it's only him working through us that will be able to save us. We need to rely on him. I want him to change me in any way he wants, and I want to really be a true disciple. I don't want to be fake, because I realized most of the people in church are fake, and they don't even know it. That's the sad part. It's because they're blinded by the delusion of this world, because they'd rather believe the lie of the beast rather than the Creator. Work out our salvation with fear and trembling. Hold fast until the end. Those are who will be saved. So, I hope this helps somebody in some way. Jesus bless anybody who's watching this.